Hey, what's up? This is TJP, and you're listening to the 3 Count Podcast.
Hit him with a 3 count. Pin him to the ground and the crowd go wild, man down over y'all like. Hit him with a 3 count. On the top rope.
Well, now, ridiculous stuff that's happened. This is what happens when you go live. But anyway, so like I was saying, right? So we are here. We want to talk about some events and stuff, which is something new that we want to try out. So we're gonna give it a go, see what's happening, and then just find out what's going on around the world. So we're gonna bring on some people from different areas. And we're talking with some people from Invictus. We're gonna talk to some people from HWT. We'll talk to some people from other promotions that might be happening. So if you guys know somebody who's out there that's running a show and wants to come talk about their card with a different audience, send them our way. So you guys go ahead, like this, share it with your friends and stuff like that. We would greatly appreciate it. It helps us in the algorithms a little bit. So we're also here available for questions and stuff like that. So if you want to write your questions in the bottom, I will be more than happy to put them out there, and then we can chat it up. So in the meantime, you guys are going to kind of see things kind of go live. Didn't really have a planned format for this because we may have a show on Sunday, we may not, but we definitely wanted to be doing something fun for everybody out there. So if you guys can, write your questions in, and let's get this thing kicked off with the right step. So what you guys got, go ahead, put it out there, and I'll put the questions up. So thank you guys for joining in and letting us have some fun. And then I got to share this with some people too, so I can make sure we can get some more people on board with us. So also, I don't really know what we're going to be doing for the show because usually we have a card lined up, but we don't really have a card lined up for the debate show this Sunday. So we'll probably come up with one tomorrow, and then we'll go from there. You have a question right off the jump. What is it about Hook and that new sensation? What's crazy is I think Hook is one of those dudes who, like, he was always like in the background for all of his studio stuff, like with everything that was going on with Taz's faction. And then just like people got intrigued with him because he just wasn't doing, he was always there and like always these badass positions, but just never did anything. So once he started, like, you saw like he came to life, people like gravitated to him. He does have like the cool, like, I have no nonsense kind of walk, just walks to the ring, doesn't even look at his opponent. And then once the bell rings, he gets in, handles the job, and then looks out. So it's cool. It's cool to see. He's definitely a different type of force. Like if you look at him, he's not extremely muscular, but he's very strong. He's actually very cut. I know he's not like the biggest dude. Like he's not like your Brock Lesnar types, or but he definitely is. He's definitely cut. So there's a lot to him that he's built up around him. So yeah, there's that. He's definitely a wider type person. Oh, and there goes my camera. See, this is what happens when we go live. 201 pounds. Yeah, 201 pounds. That's what he weighs. But I'll be fair and honest. I weigh about 200 pounds myself. So can't really judge him. This is what happens when things go live. But yeah, I think I'm like right. I tell people I shoot out at like 210, but I think naturally I walk around at like 205. So it's not like I can say any different than what he is. Nothing against him. I think he's great. I think he's great too. So we are joined by our first guest. I'm gonna get this lined up first. It's gonna look kind of wonky at first. It's fine. What's up, Alex?
What's up, Red Dog?
Not much, man. So we are live because I wanted to shoot this live to get this to as many people as we could, right? So they could all see. But if you guys don't know, Alex is the promoter for Invictus. He is the man, the myth, the legend. And you have a big event coming up on February, this February 27th, right?
Yes. So a week from Sunday. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you for having me on. Apologize for the delay. There was a big line at the Thai restaurant tonight. Never that crowded. I don't know what's happening. But yeah, Love and Let Die. It's our first event of 2022. It's actually a makeup date. I'm sure you and other fans who have been following us know what happened. We were originally supposed to have our first 2022 event on the 29th of February. We unfortunately had to postpone that due to the major blizzard that hit our area, which was kind of rough. We were doing everything in our power to make the show still happen, but because we had some talent coming in from kind of far away, and in the interest of their safety and the fans' safety, we ended up deciding it was best to postpone it. So obviously, anytime there's a postponement, you have to make some tweaks to the card, but I think everything sort of landed in the right place, and we have a really big show with lots of really good stuff planned. So I'm very excited to have the show and to talk about it with you.
Yeah, so I know the first thing we'll chop it up with is Invictus has their tag tournament going on right now with a lot of different talent in there, and some names that'll be familiar to people in the DMV with Big Charles Man Bishop. Obviously, Wrecking Ball Legursky will be attached as well there with the Hurt Locker. You also have big, Mucho Trouble. So it's cool to see that you have like a great round talent like in your guys' tag team division right now.
Yeah, definitely. This and my partners Nick and Ryan will share this sentiment, but this tag tournament has been like the bane of our existence for the last like several months. This is the last time we're doing a tournament like over multiple dates, because particularly with a tag tournament, because there's twice the amount of people, there's just so much that can go wrong, and so much has gone wrong so far as having to move things around and people not being able to commit. But yeah, this is a tournament that started back. The first round matches took place at Aftershock, which is our show back in September. So it's been ongoing for going on 6 months now. But we're down to the final four. We have American Murder Society, which is Steve Off. His usual tag team partner, I guess we should say former now tag team partner, Alex Ryman, was originally scheduled, but is now on tour in Germany, which kind of works out because I was a little worried about that. Those two have not been seeing eye to eye lately. So probably for the best that maybe Ryman sits this one out. So John Tella is going to be stepping in his place. So they're going to be representing the American Murder Society, of course. Fans of Pro Wrestling Magic, fans of anyone who really goes to shows at Ridgefield Park is familiar with those guys. So it's really awesome. And here's a fun fact that I'll share as sort of an exclusive on this podcast here. Steve Off of the American Murder Society, obviously he's a vet. He's been in the business for many years. He actually wrestled on the very first indie show that I attended as a fan when I was in middle school.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And I remember meeting him like during the intermission. He still had the spiked hair back then. That has been a constant for like,
Nice.
So That's awesome. They're going to be facing off against Milk Chocolate, Brandon Watson, Randy Summers, who those guys qualified by defeating. Who did they defeat to advance? Racking my brain here. Oh, they defeated the Outfielders. So that was Shane McCoy and formerly known as Boomer Hatfield, now Weber Hatfield. That was back in Overdrive, back in November. So that's going to be a real banger. And then we got the tag team Hoss fight that a lot of our fans have been waiting for. We got Meat Locker of Wrecking Ball Legursky, who has now been making a name for himself over in NWA. So he's been one of the guys that's been with us since day one. So very excited to see him making an impact over there. And then Adam Payne, also familiar to fans of Pro Wrestling Magic and the Ridgefield Park regulars, will be familiar with that team. And they are taking on Mucho Trouble, which is MCM, everyone's favorite man crush, Mucho Chris Moljo, and Baltimore, Maryland's favorite adopted son, Big Trouble Ben Bishop, 6'12", 15% of a metric ton.
Listen, he's not all about the business, all right, but he's very much.
He's always working.
He's always there. Actually, I have my Big Trouble Ben Bishop hat right here.
I should have worn his shirt, the Kavinsky shirt. I copped that. That was awesome. So.
Yeah, he's made like a lot of cool designs. It's interesting to see because like you said, like Wrecking Ball has like made a huge name for himself over in NWA, and I know like I watch Power now regularly because I know he's going to be on there, so I like to watch. And then to see Big Trouble on the other side, we've had MCM and Big Trouble on our podcast as well. We've had them for Now Into the Ring. So to see like they're kind of advancing in the tournament is really cool. That's just kind of like a special place, especially because like I have a relationship with Big Trouble as well. You have another match that's lined up. I really am excited for this one. It's gonna be great with the Vivacious Vicious Vicky versus Edith Surreal. Like this is a matchup that if people are not tuned in just yet and don't know, you really should be tuned in to what's about to happen on the 27th, because this matchup lined up and I was like, oh, this is gonna be fun to watch.
So this is another one that with card subject to change, right? Kaya McKenna was originally, still is, the number one contender, but obviously she's out now due to an injury, so she will get her title opportunity when she returns back. I believe her timeline for return is June, I think. So she will still have her title opportunity when she comes back from injury. But out of fairness to her, we did allow her to handpick Vicious Vicky's opponent because she is the reigning and defending champion, so she does need an opponent. And she chose Edith Surreal, who Edith is someone who there's always been mutual interest, right? She's wanted to work with us. We've wanted to work with her. And I'm very excited that the stars finally kind of lined up. So yeah, it's going to be a real banger of a match. It's the first time ever match. Those two have never faced off before in singles. Obviously, Edith is someone whose star is rising. She won the inaugural Cassandro Cup last year, and then went on to challenge for the independent wrestling, the IWTV title. So yeah, and Vicky, of course, has been making a name for herself really all over the Northeast, particularly in Jersey, as a bit of a belt collector. This title she holds, I believe, 4 more. I could be wrong, and if she happens to see this, I'm sure she'll correct me. But yeah, so 2 just real dominant women and 2 very bright rising stars going to be clashing for that match, and I like everyone I think who's going to be tuning in. I'm very excited to see how it goes.
Yeah, so I got to meet actually Vicky at actually the last time that we met at Invictus, and then I got to see Edith for the first time at the Acid Cup. Mm-hmm. So to know what kind of talent is like lined up in just that matchup alone, and the heavy punches that'll be thrown, it's definitely going to be a lot of fun to watch because they both don't like to hold back, and they're both very, very good at what they do.
Yeah, no, I'm super excited for that. Vicky's been a very dominant champion. You know, she's defeated all comers so far, but you know, Edith definitely has that unpredictability. So
Yeah, she really does. And it's someone who took, a Jordan Oliver to the limit and
yes, yep,
and lost in the acid cup, but she did do her thing. So
yep.
we're gonna move on. We got another matchup that's coming up. I do want to talk about this one too, because it is Gabriel Sky versus Ken Broadway. I got to see Ken Broadway both on on AEW, but as well as live in person. And he is hands down the truth when it comes down to Stardom.
Oh yeah. I'm really excited about this match. So yeah, I mean, this is one of those things. Again, card subject to change, right? We're sort of making a conscious decision as far as like the direction that we're taking Invictus. You know, our goal with this next year for 2022 is really to build new stars and create new stars. And Ken Broadway and Gabriel Sky are two athletes who they're on the cusp of greatness. They really are. Ken Broadway has been putting in excellent work both with us and over in House of Glory. He's been having some really high profile matches. He just last weekend faced Jay White from New Japan Pro Wrestling. So he's clearly someone whose star is rising. Gabriel Sky, same thing. He's been a regular fixture over at Wrestling Open now with Beyond Wrestling. So I'm very excited that there's more eyes on him. And these are just two guys that when we think of, the future of the company, as well as the future of, in the indie wrestling scene here in the Northeast and hopefully right elsewhere in the country as well. These are two guys that I think are two names that definitely come to mind. So I'm excited to see what they do. They have faced off before, but both of their careers have just been on upward trajectories, and they've grown so much as performers since then. So I'm very excited to see, see what's going to happen. It's going to be a banger of a main event.
Yeah, there's no doubt. There's no doubt. And like you said, both of them are on the uprise. I definitely love watching. I love watching Gabriel Sky. I love watching Ken Broadway's work, and it's crazy to see like all the work, especially when you talk about someone who's getting a rub from Jay White, who legitimately, as of like 30 minutes ago, was in the ring with Trent Beretta.
AEW Dark, man. Like, and Ken, props to him. He took him to the limit, So yeah, Ken is definitely someone who, he's definitely going to be one to watch, like I said.
So another matchup that you got lined up. We've had both these guests as guests on Not Winter in the Ring. We are talking about Big Game Leroy and Kennedy Copeland. Two very fun individuals, but also two individuals that are on different kind of styles, right? Where a lot of people will know Kennedy, though she can wrestle, she's really known for more like on a deathmatch kind of scene. And then obviously Big Game Leroy, who's really known as kind of like the fun-loving dude who can get down to business. Let's not play around. He gives the business when he needs to. But you get this kind of clash of styles, but it's kind of a cool clash of styles because it's just two different people from two different eras of the world get to have like one really great match. And I'm super excited, and I definitely can't wait to see these two lock it up in the ring.
Yeah, I mean, it's like you said, you hit the nail on the head. But both of them have sort of been pigeonholed into these certain styles. Leroy's seen as more of a gimmick type wrestler, and Kennedy is seen as a deathmatch wrestler. She's been doing great work down at H2O. But the thing is, again, they're so much more than that. Both of them, and Leroy really has made it his clear goal with his title reign since he won the social media championship. He just passed 1 year holding that title, so snaps to him. But he's really made it the goal of this title reign to really establish himself as a seriously competitive wrestler, a wrestler who can work a wide variety of style. And I think that's been reflected in the opponents that he has gotten in there with since he won that belt. It's been a wide variety of different styles and different opponents and different matches as a result. So I'm very excited to see him mix it up with Kennedy. Kennedy's someone who we've been wanting to have back. She was scheduled to perform on our June 2021 event, Empire Rising, but due to some last minute difficulties, that didn't work out. So we've been looking to have her back since. So we're very excited that it's finally lining up. This is a match that they've both really been wanting. So I'm sure that they're going to, reach up and grab that brass ring and deliver a match for the fans.
Yeah, I can't wait. I'm super excited for them. Moving into like another fight that you guys have, it's one that I'm super excited about because we've actually had one of them on the show. MLK herself, Little Mean Kathleen, going against the shooter himself, Killian McMurphy. I'm definitely excited to see the leader of the Goons take on, MLK. So Little Mean coming down from Massachusetts too, because big ups to the Massachusetts bunch. So yeah, tell me more about this matchup.
Yeah. So again, this was another incident where the card was originally very different. They were Killian and LMK were both originally scheduled to face different opponents. LMK was originally scheduled to face Ziggy Haim, who's coming in from Pittsburgh. They were going to have a street fight. And Killian was originally scheduled to face Ali Catch. Obviously, Ali's in pretty high demand. So when the postponement, it didn't work out. But we still wanted to kind of like capture, the spirit of what we imagined that match would be like. Chaotic, a real styles clash, right? And LMK, who, obviously Ziggy had to pull out, but she was still going to be booked on the card. She was someone who I sort of view her as kind of like the heir apparent almost of Ali Catch. She works that similar kind of like unpredictable, brawling style. She's sort of redefining what the expectation are for, women in our sport. So I'm very much excited for that. I think LMK, Killian has obviously, wrestled multiple times for us before. So he's awesome. We're always very excited to welcome him back. LMK is another one that we've had our eyes on for a long time. So very excited that that this is the match that she gets to introduce herself to the Invictus faithful with. It's going to be a barn burner for sure.
Oh yeah, it definitely will be. I can't wait. And like I said, big fans of both of them. So to see that they're going to be clashing on one show is definitely going to be fun to watch. We got to talk about this unsanctioned match that we have coming up with Takeover going against Sin. It's definitely exciting because I know at least with JS Hawthorne, a part of Sin, we've had him on the show. I've actually worked with him in the ring as well. It'll be interesting to see like just a pretty much a free for all in a matchup like this.
Yeah. So anyone that was at Overdrive back in November knows what these two groups are capable of doing. We almost lost the building from that match, and that's not gimmick. That is a shoot. Those guys, I mean, quite literally tore the house down. And that, lest we forget, that match was a tag match, a 2-on-2 tag match, right? Bougie and Hawthorne were only involved as seconds, as managers, right? They weren't actually participating in that match. And if you look at the chaos that ensued just from that, one can only imagine what it's going to be like when all 6 men are actually legal participants in the match. And on the subject of legality, because we want absolutely nothing to do with this, we are rinsing our hands of any responsibility. It is an unsanctioned match. So like we said, all bets are off. They are going to brawl all over that Knights of Columbus and probably out into the street as well. And I am hearing, if you saw any of the fans watching saw JS Hawthorne's promo that he cut. As a side note, that is one of the most impeccable Mick Foley impressions I've ever seen. But furthermore, yeah, a little bit of a tease with the thumbtacks, right? Which we very well might be seeing in that match. So it's going to be brutal. I will tell you that much.
I saw that promo get dropped, and I was watching. I was like, I really can't tell if this is a young McFoley or if this is JS. Like credits to him because that was a really good, a really good reenactment of him, and I was like,
Bro,
damn, this
here's
is
what I'm
amazing.
gonna say about JS Hawthorne. I hope he doesn't mind me putting him over. First of all, any worker who comes to me asking for advice on promos, I would just redirect him to JS Hawthorne because he's one of the best criminally underrated promos in the game. I mean, coming from someone who has a theater background, it should come as no surprise. But yeah, he was at a training combine back last February, I think, down at Super Crazy, and he went up to. It was a panel of all the promoters are down there, and we're sitting there, and each wrestler is getting a chance to get in the ring and introduce themselves and cut a promo and stuff. And he came up and went down the line of promo of the promoters, and he gave each promoter this resume, like a big, thick resume. And at this point, he was already booked for our. I don't know if it was our next show, but like one of the shows, of the upcoming shows. So he didn't give me a resume because I already had his. And the promoters are flipping through this resume and they're all laughing and they're like, who's gonna do this? And then and my partner was with me. He said, "Hey, are you sure about this guy?" And I was like, "Just watch." And then he got into the ring and one of the promoters said, "Oh, so I see you have a theater background." He's like, "Why don't you cut us a promo, do a monologue?" And they were all like, it was like one of those things. And yeah, he took the mic and he just off the cuff ripped this promo. And he was the only person in the seminar that got a standing ovation from all the promoters and staff and other workers who were there. I was like, what did I tell you? I was like, I know talent when I see it, not to toot my own horn. But anyway, yeah. So
Yeah, and I know he won't mind. We had him on the podcast. We had an episode with him, and yeah, his work is impeccable, man. It's hard to find another person who can convey a character like he does, and then cut promos to follow up with it as well. So I definitely agree. Like, it's on point.
Well, the balance of work rate in the ring versus having an understanding of the character and being able to convey it through promos is striking that balance is very hard. You have guys who are, really excel in one area and are lacking in the other more often than you have the people that have that perfect, are good in both are very hard to come by. So yeah, obviously a good grab for any other promotion that might be watching.
Facts. So, I don't know because I know that's like the big meat and potatoes of the card. Am I missing any matches?
I don't know. Are you? I don't even know.
We had the tournament. We had Killian. We've had Kennedy. We've talked about the unsanctioned match. We've talked about the main event. I'm trying to think of
that. Pulling up the poster here. I think that's just about it. Oh well, we have Love Doug, but yeah, don't ask me what he's doing because we have no idea. He's a wild card. All we know is that he's going to be there. He's was going to be there anyway because he's on Magic the night before, I believe. Or maybe don't quote me on that. He might not be, but I know that he was coming down with LMK, and he's like, would love to come on if you have room for me. And we're like, well, the show's called Love and Let Die, and it's Valentine's month, so come on. So I don't know what's going to happen. So I'm looking forward to that as well.
Well, we do have another big event that's coming up, and I definitely want to touch into it because it is massively important. And you and I talked about this kind of behind the scenes, and you wanted it to be it was an idea that you were throwing together, but it was very much something that's come to light, and it's obviously got a lot of traction to it. And this is the 8-city event that's coming up, trios matchups with 8 cities representing in a trios matchup. And I am super excited because you've got DC, you've got New England, you've got NYC, you've got Baltimore, you've got Buffalo, you got Philly, you got Pittsburgh, and then we have the mystery one that's hasn't been announced yet. But the list of names of people that you have lined up so far that you've announced, right? Puff being a part of the Buffalo team, which I was very excited for. Obviously, Ken Broadway being with the NYC. Mr. Grimm being a part of the DC team. You know, I was like, okay, here we go. Bill Calix, Big Calix coming in with Philly, and then just announced not even an hour ago, Davian coming in for the New England team. I was like, these are some heavy hitters.
Wait a second. So why don't you hop on our Twitter real quick right now?
Oh, okay, hold on.
Because I know you were pretty psyched about the Baltimore team.
I'm always
I didn't
psyched about
I didn't get to copy and paste it yet from on Twitter, but I want to get your reaction to this live on the air.
Okay. Let me type in Invictus. And then for the Baltimore team, we have O'Shea Edwards. Wow. That is a lot of names to have lined up for such an incredible tournament. Obviously, you know, Pittsburgh hasn't been announced just yet. And then, you know, obviously we have our secret one that's getting put together, but
parts unknown.
But yeah, that's amazing to see.
Yeah, I mean, these are just the team captains, right? Like these are going to be kind of like the face of each team. Each of them are going to be bringing 2 more people with them. So it's really exciting for me. I love the idea of trios tournaments. I was a big fan of King of Trios back when Chikara used to do it. Just seeing the teams come together. I always like to see the, you know, different, you know, some of them would obviously be like the pre-packaged sort of factions, and then, but seeing like some of them being like very unlikely combinations and things like that was just always something that really fascinated me. And yeah, with just how saturated the market is with, you know, in the indies right now, just trying to do something different, man. And especially, you know, we just saw the Super Bowl happen last weekend. The idea of like rooting for your hometown, rooting for your home team is something that, you know, obviously we see in a lot of other sports, particularly team sports. And I think it's a concept that I think will lend itself pretty well to wrestling, because it's been you know, for much of wrestling's existence, going back to the territory days, it's always been debated, you know, which city or which territory is the best when it comes to wrestling. So now it's time to put up or shut up. So, so yeah, definitely keep your eye on our socials for that. It's also another reason why we're excited about this. It's marking our return with fans. We did the social media championship tournament. We taped it down in Westville, New Jersey, so South Jersey, Philadelphia area. But this is marking our debut with fans down in South Jersey, Philly area. So we're very excited about that. Not sure what that's going to mean for Team Philly, if that gives them kind of an unfair advantage. But we shall see. But yeah, definitely keep an eye on the socials for more announcements. They're going to be coming fast and furious over the next few weeks. And definitely grab some tickets if you're around on March 26th and you're looking for a fun but different kind of wrestling show. Definitely would encourage you to come through and check it out.
Definitely. And with O'Shea, I can't say I 100% expect. I'm like 55%. I might know who one of his other team members may be coming up.
Perhaps.
I don't know. But it'll be very interesting to check out. Yeah, and that's not until March 26th. So if you guys, you know, like you said, keep on the social medias, you guys could check it out. And then yeah, it's gonna be interesting. But Alex, can you give them like all your socials?
Yeah. You can follow us on Twitter at Invictus Pro WRE1. Facebook is just Invictus Pro Wrestling. Instagram is at Invictus Pro Wrestling. You can also subscribe to our YouTube channel, which is, you guessed it, Invictus Pro Wrestling. Stay up to date with all of the announcements, ticket drops, and all the news in the wacky and wonderful world of the conquests.
Facts. But that is all like the kind of big events. I know we have some other people that'll be hopping on. They're going to be talking to us about some of the events as well. Alex, thank you for coming on the show, talking with us about what's going on with Invictus. I'm very excited. I can't wait. I can't wait for the trios tournament, but I also can't wait till Love and Let Die, which is next week on the 27th. So be there, guys, and go check out his stuff. Go check out Invictus because they are on the up and up, and it's very fun to watch those guys work.
Awesome. Thank you, man. Always a pleasure to come on. I'm going to go eat my Thai food.
Yeah, go get your Thai. That long line didn't wait. You didn't wait for nothing.
Yeah, there we go, man.
All right. Thanks, man.
Boss. All right. So I just leave, right?
So there you guys have it. So there's Invictus coming in, talking with us about their event, Love and Let Die. And we're also talking about the City 8 tournament that's going on. I cannot wait. O'Shea Edwards is going to be a part of it for the Baltimore team. We talked about the rundown of the cards. It's definitely exciting. So you guys let us know what you guys thought of that kind of going on. We do have some other guests that are going to be popping on and talking with us some more. So it will be upfront. We are definitely going to be running it. I hope you guys are excited. Just like, wow, we're excited here too. So we're going to wait. We have HWT coming to join up with us, Hostile Wrestling Takeover. They have their big event kind of going on. And we're super excited to get them and talk with them about their next matchups that are coming up. One of them may be featuring yours truly. But yeah, so once we get our person on, we'll bring them up and then we'll talk more about it. In the meantime, you guys can ask your questions. Definitely excited to hear what you guys got to say. So yeah, type it down below. Let me hear what you guys got. But just to get you guys to know, all is well. We are live here, and we are actually being joined by another guest of ours. She has been on the show before. You guys have seen her. She is amazing. I'm super hyped to bring her on board. We're going to be talking with the great Morgan. She is joining us, HWT's own promoter, founder. She is amazing. How are you doing tonight?
I am doing well. How about you?
Doing great. Just excited to talk about wrestling that's going on this weekend, next weekend. We were just actually on with Alex from Invictus, where we were talking about Love and Let Die. Obviously, Hostile Wrestling Takeover tomorrow night. They've got Kings at War. So I definitely wanted to kind of try something new, bring a little eyes to the products and stuff, and just some of my favorite promotions around the area. And yeah, I just wanted to hop in right away and talk about this first matchup with Ivy Platinum and Autumn Breeze.
Actually, we've got one before that. We've got our very first pre-show. Two gentlemen that are coming from Puerto Rico. We've got El Gran Bebe, excuse me. And I'm not sure how they say the other guy's name. I don't want to butcher it, so don't get mad at me.
Yeah, Criminal HD is definitely popping up too. Yeah, so I'm excited to see this matchup as well. It's gonna be a lot of fun. But like you said, Puerto Ricanos are representing, the Boricuas are coming up. I'm hyped to be able to get back, sit and chat and pick the brains up a little bit and see what kind of.
They will. Unfortunately, both gentlemen do not speak English, but they will have an interpreter there, so you'll be able to talk to them.
Pero yo hablo español también, so siempre es nada para yo, and I'm ready
no
to
problem.
Sit back and just
okay, I got you, small pass. I know only a little bit, enough to get me in trouble.
when you're the Red Dog and you got to be a mercenary, you get books that just teach you how to speak a language in less than 5 minutes, and then you do it.
There you go.
Sit back. So like, oh, okay, what else? Yeah, parlez-vous français? Yeah, sprechen die Deutsch? Habla español? I speak English. Yes.
It's funny because a lot of people ask me, well, isn't your name like, it's like, no, it's not. And they're like, well, then why did you have that last name? It's like, I don't know. Why would you have the kind of things you have? Why do you have the thing between your legs? I don't ask why, so don't ask me why. We'll leave it at that. So
Wait.
anyway, back to these matches. You wanted to know about Autumn Breeze and Ivy Platinum, I hear.
Yeah, so I know like this is gonna be a fun match. I got to actually I got to see Ivy as well as Goldstein work. I think they're incredible, and that's why I'm very excited to see what Autumn will bring to the stage as well. Because I am familiar with her work. I haven't been able to like actually deep dive into it, but I'm super hyped, and I was just wanting to get your thoughts on this matchup.
Well, I think the girls will do very well. Ivy herself is actually a newcomer into the business, and she's got a lot of, help in the aspects of learning about the ring and the acronologies of it and everything else. And I put her up against Autumn because, again, I've worked Autumn in the past, and she's actually somebody that I highly recommend to put somebody like Ivy up against because they can both learn from each other. And, Ivy can get a lot of experience, knowledge-wise, as well as in-ring experience by being with an opponent against Autumn.
Right. So, and that is a great point that you bring up is that, sometimes if you get those newer people, mix them in with like the older people, let those old people help get the newer people over.
You better watch your mouth about that older people. What the hell is that? No, we're called
veterans.
vets.
Veterans.
And there you go. It's called veterans, not older people. What the hell is wrong with you?
The thing is when I think of the word older, I think of a person like more experienced. Maybe that's the word I was trying to find. Not older. My apologies.
I was going to say, you better watch yourself.
You want to put them with the veteran type.
You better watch yourself because you'll see you and I in that ring. I'll go toe to toe with you.
And you know what? That's just very true. You know what? I don't want to say anything else. So another matchup that you do have lined up, and I don't know the obviously I don't know the card structure, but I definitely know the match is based on what was put out from Hostile. Right. We do see Slim Whiskey is coming up with main event, Michael Mars. And
right.
I have seen both these two work. They are incredible talent. I can't wait to see what kind of barn burner they put on together on the stage.
Right. You've got two colossal men that know what the hell they're doing in the ring. One who has been in the business for 30 years, another one that's been in the business, I want to say, I think he's been in the business for about 15 years. I'm not sure. But they're both, very good components against each other. So I'm interested to see how it's going to play out myself.
Yeah, and they're a couple of, like you said, a couple of hosses that are just going to lay the wood down and just let people know, like, this is what a sound sounds like.
Right. Right, exactly.
So another matchup that you do have lined up, I'm familiar with a couple of these people, right? Tahir James and Jay Bougie is going to be on the stage against Bad Company.
Right.
I know Bad Company. I'm very familiar with those guys. I think that they're a lot of fun, and they bring a certain kind of
energy.
Yeah, I was gonna say charm, but energy to the stage. I'm super hyped to see those guys. Of course, I'm excited to see Bougie as well. So tell us more about the matchup and tell us what you like to see out of it.
Well, honestly, I've not seen. I've seen Tahir James by himself, and I've also seen him in a tag team. But I've never seen him with Bougie, so it'll be kind of interesting to see how the two chemistry works. Now, Bad Company, they live their name. They're Bad Company, but they know their shit. And that's one thing, that's why they are on the show. I do not bring people in that do not know what the fuck they're doing. And the thing is with me, I like to bring in the talent that will bring those people in and say, wow, Are you really kidding me? They're that good. And I know Bad Company has got a good name, even though it's called Bad Company. They've got a good reputation.
And they got a really great theme song.
Really? I didn't know. Not at all. Five Finger Death Punch. Hello. Perfect song for them.
Yep, perfect song for them. Moving on to another matchup that you do have. The Real Deal, Mike Goldstein is going to be going against Eric Black. I'm super excited because I'm a fan of Eric Black personally. He's so I don't want to say unique because I'm gonna end up using that word a whole lot, but he's definitely a different talent that you can definitely have aboard.
He's definitely a different breed, but he's very agile in every aspect of the companies. You know, he's been around for a long time.
Mhm.
He's got very good ring smarts, and he's like a chameleon. He can adapt to any situation, and that's one of the reasons why I like that. Now, Mike Goldstein was not supposed to go up against him. I had actually hired Sean Carr, but unfortunately he screwed up his elbow and was not cleared yet to wrestle. So I was like, I'm going to talk to Goldstein, and since he's going to be there, because he's going to be coming out with Ivy, to support his girl. And I was like, you're going to wrestle that night? And he goes, what? I was like, yes. How would you like to go against Eric Black? And he goes, are you fucking kidding me? I was like, no, I'm not. He goes, hell yeah. I've always wanted to go against him. I was like, well, here's your chance.
And I do like Mike too. Mike is such a good individual. Like his in-ring talent is really, really good. And his character work is just amazing on top of that too. So seeing those
Right.
guys, they're
He
gonna be a
looks
lot
like
of
the
fun.
captain from Gilligan's Isle.
He really does. I don't want to say that. I'm not trying to get heat. Like I'm not trying to put that out there.
I did. I said it. Bring the heat. I like it. I'll even bring my shades.
So another matchup that you do have lined up, right, is Damaged Souls versus Skid Row Students. I'm very
Right.
curious. You gotta give me more info on this matchup. I'm definitely hyped to watch though.
Well, Skid Row Students, we've got three very talented individuals that have come out of super crazy school, Skid Row, and I want to put them up against three gentlemen that I know will give them a run for their money.
I like it though, because seeing Damaged Souls, I was like, okay. I was like, I like where this is going. I was like, this is gonna be a lot of fun to watch break down. So I was definitely hyped seeing it. Another matchup that you have, person we've had him on the show before, but we have Lestat going against Big Money. This should be a lot of fun to watch.
It's going to definitely be interesting because both got different styles in wrestling. So it'll be definitely different because it's almost like a David and Goliath kind of thing, where one has more power, where the other one has more bronze.
This is
And
true.
somebody says, "Isn't that the same thing?" I said, "No, not always. Bronze is more the brains thing, and you know, the problem is who's got what? Who's got the bronze and who's got the power?"
Yeah, those guys are those guys would be fun to watch. I love Lestat because Lestat is one of those individuals that he's morphed a lot and changed, and you see his true personality kind of coming out in his character work. And
Right.
I love the fact that full transparency, he helped me out a whole bunch, and there's no doubt about that.
Right.
So like out of character side, like that's just me. I think Lestat is cool, is great, and getting to chat with him and kind of pick his brain a little bit was definitely a big help to me. So it'll be interesting to see how this matchup goes because, like you said, it's two clashes of styles that it's when brains meets strength, and I can't wait to see what the power game looks like.
Right. It'll be definitely an amazing show. And, I've got some jam packed matches going on. I mean, our main event, you're in it. Hello.
Well, I was getting there. We do have the main event for the night. It's going to be the Daredevil Dave Dahl, Patch, Violence, and then, of course, yours truly, the Red Dog, getting involved in this matchup. And all four contestants earned their way into this matchup, defeating somebody at an event. Mine was with Lestat at the previous HWT event, obviously, as well as Violence going over Will Knox. I forget who Patch was lined up with that night.
Actually, what it was is the first show that we had back in June of last year, we actually had two gauntlet matches. Well, actually, it was four gauntlet matches. And the winners for each of those matches were the ones that were chosen to be in the Fatal Four Way tomorrow night. Dave Dahl won against his opponent, and same with Josh Adams. Patch won against his opponent, which was at the time Slayer. And then you actually won against Will Knox. No, who was it you went against?
Lestat. It was
Lestat. That's right. Will Knox was there though last show. Yeah. He was actually, I believe he went up against Violence, didn't he?
Yeah, he went against Violence.
That's right. I knew one of you did. And guess what? You get to go, toe to toe with three other gentlemen that have earned their right to be a part of that match. How do you feel about that?
So at OCC, right? I'm honored, actually, to be fair. Those are all three individuals. They're all very, very, very talented. They're all well accomplished in this industry. And just going back and watching them and seeing them work, it's definitely been a lot to kind of take in and understand. So yeah, I'm very familiar with all three of them. In character-wise, I'm hyped. I'm always doing the intel search and always researching everybody. I find it kind of ironic that I was left off. Some people may have forgotten my name. It happens all the time, I guess. But in the meantime, between time, I will be okay when I go in and shock some people.
What do you mean your name was left off? I've left off of what?
We'll talk about it more outside. I don't want to talk about it on the air.
Oh, you're such a diva. You're such a freaking diva. What the hell? No, Moldy. That doesn't work that way. No, sorry.
But I truly am blessed and honored that I get to be in this matchup with those three individuals. Like I said, there's nothing better than to be able to work with guys like Violence, get to see the work that Patch put in from the last show and with Slayer, and understand that I get to share the ring with that person, and then going back and researching and watching his matches and stuff. So I definitely get a lot to learn. And then Dave Dahl and I, we've actually been on a couple shows together. We've never actually got to work. So it'd be interesting to see what it'll be like when we both get into the ring. And of course, me being the youngest person in the ring, age-wise, it's definitely going to be fun to be able to interact with all three of them and, get to see where I get to cement my place.
Right. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, you may be the youngest of the group, but you've got some balls, my dear. You proved yourself, and that's why you're in this four-way. And I don't watch lightly when I look at my talent and see who is actually willing and able to do the tasks I ask them to do and do it without giving me any mouth, which is very nice. Because I've had some workers go, well, I'm not going to do that. And I'm like, well, I am your boss. And they're like, and? I was like, well, if you really want me to go there, I'll just make sure you wear a polka-dotted thong and a tutu if you want me to. And he's like, no, you wouldn't. I was like, try me. And he's like, never mind. I'm like, thank you.
But the thing is, like, outside when I'm outside and I get asked to put up certain things, like, if you would have asked me about a year ago, I would have done it, but it would have been like, it just wouldn't have seemed like it was just a natural feel. It would have definitely felt a lot more forced. I think, and I kind of mentioned this on a previous episode of Now Entering the Ring, which I shouldn't say previous because it hasn't come out yet. You guys will check it out in the future when it comes out. But being on a show like this and being in front of a camera and being able to talk in front of the camera and cut promos the way I do has taken a lot of work. And I've felt myself grow like throughout the time. So I give myself a pat on the back just for knowing that I made it so far in this journey. But what else makes it kind of tough is that, when you're with such great talent, you're just like, I hope I'm just doing okay.
Well, trust me, my dear, a lot of vets out there will actually tell you, this is what you need to work on, this is what you don't need to work on. One thing I do tell people, and I've done it for myself, is when I have worked a match, I have actually had it videoed, and I look at the spots where I screwed up, and that's where I'm like, okay, that's where I've got to work my issues, because a lot of times you may have thought you had a great match, but when you go back and you look at what you've done, you're like, well, shit, I missed that move. And, you can't be so hard on yourself because it's very hard to remember certain things. A lot of men and women in the business actually go on the fly, which is great. But some people like to go over spots. Okay, as long as you have a beginning and an end, that's all that matters. Whatever you do in between, all right, then you do it. But don't worry about beating yourself up too much because it's all a learning experience. The more experience you have, the more you're going to learn. The more you learn, the more traversed you'll be with everything. Now, everybody trains differently. Everybody learns differently. Soak it up like a sponge.
Yeah, it's so much true. And that's one thing I do. I do keep myself like held accountable. Like I bring my notebook with me everywhere and I'm always jotting down notes. I'm always looking for like more information. I have this podcast because I go and I bring people on. I talk to them more about like, the do's and don'ts of like a locker room or the do's and don'ts of what you're doing in the ring or like, advice or what's like a hard lesson to learn. I love like taking in all that knowledge. And I know that the viewers at home who like watch this, they appreciate it too because they understand like this is a learning journey, and if you think you've learned everything, you probably shouldn't be here anymore.
Unfortunately, it doesn't matter how long you've been in the business or how new you're in the business. You're always going to learn something.
Definitely.
And that's what a lot of people don't understand is it's a learning experience the entire time. And I enjoy learning about new things every day because if you don't, then it just makes you a boring individual. And I'm not boring, not by any means.
No. And, and I'm not either. And I enjoy everything that we're doing. And like you said, learning is fun too. Like, especially when you learn something that you're passionate about. It's not work. It's easy to do. So I'm 100% on board with that as well.
Exactly.
So let everybody know where they can find Hostile Wrestling Takeover. And hopefully we can get some more eyes turned on to the product.
Well, we do have a Twitter and an Instagram. I unfortunately do not have those accesses because our video manager does all of that, but we do have a YouTube. All you have to do is look at Hostile Wrestling Takeover, and you'll find us on YouTube. We've also got Hostile Wrestling Takeover on Facebook. And if you're interested in working for us, and you're out there and you want to show off what you've got, you can always DM me, or you can also DM the Hostile Wrestling Takeover page, and either myself or one of my partners will get back with them.
Right. And if you guys do want to go check out their IG page, it is Hostile_Wrestling_Takeover. And I think you guys are on TikTok too, as well as
not anymore. We actually took it off because we weren't getting any hits.
But you
So,
gotta,
and
I didn't get any hits either, and you got to stay because you got to stay with it, and that's the one thing I had to learn too. It's just like with every good social media page, you have to maintain, and yeah,
well,
I definitely
unfortunately,
understand.
our video manager is kind of hard. It's hard for him to maintain
I
all
do
three, and I'm like, then if you can't do it, then see if somebody else can do it. He goes, no, I've got it. Like, okay, whatever you say.
I know because like on my side, like I run all my social media stuff. I run all the 3 count social media stuff, and then I have to handle all of our YouTube stuff. So I definitely and our Twitter stuff. So I definitely understand like the complexity of like trying to juggle like everything at once, and then you just drop one. You're just like, whatever, I'm not picking that up.
Right, it's especially when you have a 9 to 5, regular job, and then trying to do all that on it gets time consuming, frustrating, and aggravating for people.
Yeah, full transparency for people. Like today was, I decided I was like, I don't have anything on my schedule. I'm gonna stay home. I edited 6 different episodes of Now Ancient and Ring, so you guys will get to see those. I'm not
Nice.
gonna tell you which episodes. You just know that they're gonna be coming out. But yeah, it was crazy to go through and like edit it and then upload it and then get ready to market those as well. So yeah, I definitely understand where you guys coming from. I'm on the same boat. But that's our show, guys. If you guys like this kind of stuff, please comment and write it in the messages. I know we do have a couple things in here, some questions. If you want to join us for one, we have one. Somebody wrote in here. They asked, The Undertaker was announced as the first Hall of Famer today. Who do you think should be in for 2022? It's a good question. We'll just take one apiece. I don't know how you feel about
Well, I think it's actually about freaking time that they put him in. For all the time and stuff that he has done for WWE, it's about freaking time he's done it. Another one that I think that they need to put in is the Road Dog. Or not Road Dog, I'm sorry. Who were we talking about earlier? Yes. Hold on a moment.
I do agree. Road Dogg would definitely be. I know like he was in there for DX.
Not Road Dog. I was talking about what the hell was their names? I forgot the tag team's name. Oh my god. It was Animal and Hawk, wasn't it?
Oh, LOD.
Legion of Doom.
Yeah, they're already in.
Are they? Oh,
Yeah,
okay. Well then
they got in. They got in with Paul Ellering. That was after Hawk had passed away. And
right.
Animal
Okay,
and
that's
Paul
right.
were on
That's
the team.
right. But
It's my favorite tag team of all time. I should know that information.
well, there you go. But for the whole point with the Undertaker, I'm very happy. My question is who's going to be the one to induct him?
I would love to see Glenn Jacobs. I think Kane should be that guy. And if not Kane, let's be real, Mick Foley.
Why not his wife?
Michelle McCool would definitely be a lot of fun to see her and to induct him as well.
I think the two that I most likely would see it would be either Kane, because of course Undertaker inducted Kane, and then his wife.
Another person that I could definitely see putting him in is Charles Wright, like the Godfather.
Right. Another friend of mine actually said was it Roman Reigns or Seth Rollins? Seth Rollins. He said Seth Rollins would be somebody else, because I guess when they went against each other and then they went and had the tag team. Right. So you never know. Hell, it could be HBK. You never know.
You're right. It could be. We had someone just write in The Rock, putting in a question mark. Dwayne, I think he's going to be his own headliner. So if not, it's not this year.
That's definitely. Rock, I think he's not going to be in it this year, but I probably would see it in 2023.
Yeah, he's definitely going to be that guy that gets nominated. I think a person for me that I would like to see in, if he's not already in, IRS. I don't know.
I don't think I don't think he's in.
I don't think he's in either, but I would
IRS
definitely.
is in? No, I guess he is in.
Oh, okay. I didn't know. I didn't know if Rotunda was in or not.
I didn't even know Rotunda was in myself. Well, we both learned something new tonight.
We did. Mickey James. I think Mickey James would be another person that I think should be.
I'd like to see her in there. I'd also like Mickey James. I'd also actually like to see. I don't believe Stacey's in there, is she? No, she's not even in there.
Yeah.
Or they finally did put Trish, which was great. Lita needs to be put in there as well. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I thought isn't no. I think it was just Trish because that's the day that she announced that she was pregnant. But yeah, so those are a couple names out there. If you guys were wondering who we're thinking about being inducted in, I would definitely agree with that. Yeah, but that's it for us, guys. So thank you for joining us. Like I said, if you like this, like it, comment, share with your friends. We'll come back. We'll have some more guests. We'll have some more shows that we're going to want to talk about. And you guys, we will tune in and talk to you guys later. Peace out.
Peace.